Well, something so Idaho isn't going to be so Idaho anymore. The familiar Merritt's Family Restaurant sign on State Street is officially gone. It was that large red, white, and blue one, about 12 feet wide. But the Ada County Highway District, they're planning to widen State Street, that corridor, in that area next year. So something has to give. And that means the signs that let you know what business is there will have to move, well, over there, further away from the street or far away from there. The agency is paying for that move or the removal for 19 of those businesses. The car wash sign, 2 doors down from Merritt's, that was taken down Monday. Today, it was Merritt's turn, to the disbelief and disappointment of longtime customers and staff. Here's Aspen Shumpert.
It's the only place I know you can get this kind of a scone.
The Red and White Diner off State Street is where you go to have a cup of coffee or catch up with some friends.
We have a family group that meets here on Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings. It'll go anywhere from 3 people to 15 or 20 people.
But Wednesday, as the sun came up, they watched a large piece of history outside come down.
She didn't want to give it up at first, but she come down good, and they saved her. It was still a little tough. I'm sure if the family was here, it would have been harder. It was still a little tough for me too, so.
The sign had been up for 100 years, 50 of those with Merritt's.
Sad. It's been here a long time, clear back from when it was Yatesville.
The Merritt sign sits where ACHD will widen the road for more State Street lanes. ACHD says the road will be expanded about 18 feet on each side. Some watched the sign come down from outside. Others peeked out the windows from inside.
It's a landmark. I was up here, coming up here. I said there are 3 things I like about Merritt. 1 is their senior discount. 2 is they charge extra for decaf coffee. And 3 was a sign.
And now the sign's gone.
Yeah, and I almost drove by.
Even if Merritt's wanted to put it back up, they couldn't.
It is not up to city code. We will have to, when we can, go by city code signs. So we will deal with that when it's time.
Once the original sign was off its poles and on the trailer, the Merritt staff all signed the piece of history before it was trailered out and onto its next home. A big concern for these businesses, they tell me, is whether or not they can stay open during the work. ACHD says they plan to keep 2 lanes in each direction open during the project, so there is still a way to access these businesses, but these businesses are still worried that that's going to mean less traffic. This project has not gone out to bid yet, so dates haven't been finalized, but ACHD says they are planning to start work in January. So when it comes to replacements of these signs, ACHD says that it is on a business-by-business scenario, and they do have a department that reviews that. They couldn't specifically talk to a replacement of the Merritt sign since that conversation is still going. But as for that large Merritt sign, Brian.
Yeah, the next home.
The next home, yes. So it's actually going to go to the owner's nephew's house, who lives along Highway 55 in between Eagle and Avamore. So it's actually going to be sitting along the highway, and people are still going to be able to see it. But it will stay in the family, but it won't be back on display at the restaurant.
It'd be cool if they can get the lights to work on it again.
It would, yes.
Now, going back to those signs, I was talking to the window company that's across the street there, and they have a sign up there that says, "Please save our sign."
They do.
Because just like Merritt's, their sign is too tall for the current city code, but they were grandfathered in.
Yeah.
So if they have to move them, well, they got to go back down to code, and they got to replace it entirely. So that's like tens of thousands of dollars. And that's either going to be paid for by the business or ACHD, which means
someone's going to have to work out an arrangement. Yeah. But actually, the window company, that is the city of Garden City, whereas Merritt is actually the city of Boise. So I talked to the city of Boise today, and they said exactly that Merritt's was grandfathered in, but now that that sign is down, they couldn't put it back up because it's not up to current code.
So same situation. All right. Well, end of an era. Thank you very much, Aspen.